Hello everyone, Dr. Wendell here. Does James 2:21 contradict Romans chapter 4? Well, that's the question I often receive. So today we're going to dive deep into that big question. Does James 2:21 contradict Romans chapter 4? These verses do seem to disagree about faith and works and justification. So let's break it down and see how they actually work together. First, the text James 2:21 says, "Was not our father Abraham considered righteous for what he did when he offered his son Isaac on the altar?" Sounds like Abraham was justified by his actions, right? But then Romans chapter 4, 2 through 5 tells us, if Abraham was justified by works, he had something to boast about, but not before God. Scripture says Abraham believed God, and it was credited to him as righteousness. Here Paul says it's faith, not works. So what's going on here? Well, the key is context. Paul in Romans is talking to the people who think that they can earn salvation by following the law, like circumcision or the Mosaic rules. He uses Abraham to show that justification comes by faith alone, citing Genesis 15:6, where Abraham's belief in God's promise made him righteous long before any law. James, though, is addressing a different issue. Some Christians were saying, I have faith, but living without any change, no good deeds, and no obedience. So James says faith without works is dead. He points to Abraham's willingness to sacrifice Isaac in Genesis 22 as proof that his faith was real, not just words. Here's the deal. They're using works differently. For Paul, works means trying to earn salvation through legalistic deeds, stuff that just can't save you. For James, works are the actions that flow naturally from real faith, like Abraham's obedience. Paul's focused on the root of justification, faith alone before God. James is about the fruit, how faith shows itself through actions before others. Think of it like this. Paul says Abraham was justified in Genesis 15 by believing God's promises. That's when God credited him as righteous. James says Abraham's faith was completed years later in Genesis 22 when he acted on it by offering Isaac. The act didn't earn his righteousness, it proved his faith was genuine. So there's no contradiction. Paul and James are like two sides of the same coin. Romans chapter 4 teaches that salvation is by faith alone, a gift from God, while James chapter 2 reminds us that true faith transforms us, producing good works as evidence. Together they give us the full picture. We're saved by faith, and that faith changes how we live. Thanks for joining me. I hope this helps clear some things up for you. If you got any more questions, just drop a comment below. God bless.